I'm your brother from another mother, Evil Aniki, and today we are checking out Collecticon LA. This is actually the second or third time this event has happened this year alone in LA. This is a traveling show and they are expanding rapidly. I will be having a big discussion with one of my friends, Tamanon, later in this video, so stick around for that. But first things first, let's check out the convention, walk around, and buy some cards, and then we'll just do some openings with Tam later. So let's get into the video.
Free pictures with Santa.
Free spins?
Yes, free spins.
Okay. What's the big prize? Is there a big one?
Probably spinner's choice, so you can pick whatever you want.
Oh.
A big prize would be a pack.
Okay. I haven't seen MetaZoo in a hot minute.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
We are back and better than ever.
I love it. I miss you guys at Collecticons. You guys would always bring like the giant inflatables.
Oh
Yeah.
we still have it.
Oh, a lanyard.
A lanyard, but you know what? You get a pack as
Oh,
well.
thank you.
There you go.
Oh, you got a lanyard. What's up, man?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
You're curious. It's gonna be called Genesis. It's the first ever Hero Quest box that's coming out.
Okay.
Got you on a promo. Each box gets a chance of pulling either a memorabilia stamped autograph or one of these stamped autographs. And you also do have a chance of actually pulling Steve Aoki's signature out of there.
Okay.
The first 1,000 boxes on pre-order right now are going to be getting a stamped serialized promo. It's going to be the only first 1,000 boxes. So when
Wow.
you do pre-order, if you're one of the first 1,000 people to pre-order, you'll have a chance of getting that serialized promo in your order.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like the booth.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. And I know that you saw that uncut sheet. These are just uncut sheets right here that you can kind of see what the cards look like.
These are nice.
Yeah.
I like the shiny.
Yeah, it's a very clean. It looks really good.
I'll check you guys out.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I want to spin the wheel. I love spinning wheels.
Then just let me know what letters you get.
Okay.
animals.
Is there a good letter? What letter is the best?
It depends what animal you think.
Oh,
you
man, the
want first.
fucking
I would
birds.
say
Oh, it's all birds.
I want birds.
Just all the birds.
Fuck.
W.
Not birds.
What did you get?
W.
A W. You get the. Oh, where are we looking? This guy, the white.
Yes! Actually, this
Oh.
is my favorite cocktail. I love
Look, they got first edition birds.
person. Oh my god, it's just burbs. Nothing but burbs. Fuck me.
I need to spin. Okay, come on. Is there a rare bird?
I mean, the rarest one is probably this guy.
That one?
But then I think this is the coolest, Goldie.
That one does look pretty
It's
cool.
based on how endangered the animal is.
Oh, really?
Have you heard about like?
Yeah, I bought it from you guys.
Ah,
before,
okay,
actually.
you
I thought it was a
know.
cool concept.
So the population of the animal is the print run of the card.
Really?
If it's a holographic. If it's a full art, it's 10%.
Oh, wow.
So like the population of these in the wild is 120,000, so there's then 12,000 full
Oh,
arts.
whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, kind of cool.
And then when the population gets down, they go in and break in people's houses and they rip up their cards.
Yeah.
And then you make them battle?
Yeah, so you have 4 stats for each card, and you can use those stats to play games.
Okay, let's see what I get. So I'm looking for a G.
Yeah,
Okay.
it depends what you want. I'd be wanting a G.
I got a W.
got
W.
W.
You got the same again. Do you want to spin again, and we'll get you something different?
Yeah. Let's do it. Come on, not W, not W, not W. M.
No, it's the macaw.
Oh, okay.
The
Ooh.
macaw. That bird bit Brendan.
This is the one that attacked you.
That's the one that bit you.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
No worries.
That's cool.
Okay, spin the wheel.
Hey, we're kind of in the middle across from the stage. What do you guys want?
Okay, they're in the. Yeah. This is a female. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I love this one as well.
Is this the full set?
His little crown.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Excluding some of the super rare ones.
Oh, okay. What did you have any super rares in here?
They showed the one of
Rares.
one.
I mean,
The
these-
one of one?
Well, if this was a holographic, is it just the rare version? It's still quite rare. These are pretty rare, so population 50, 50, 60. These are pretty crazy. All of this page really is quite...
Do you have any favorite birds?
My favourite is actually this one.
Oh, the northern spotted owl.
Yeah, I love it. As a full art.
That's what we have here in America, right? Right? They're like barn owls, sort of.
Yeah, northern spotted owl. Yeah. These are pretty rare.
Ooh, that one's freaky looking.
I love this one as well. The Philippine
It would be
eagle.
so cool if you did like a horror set and it was just animals being creepy in the dark.
Yeah,
That would be so freaky.
Oh, it could be
Nocturnal. It's like this crazy map.
They have
Yeah.
freaky eyeballs.
Okay, guys, I'm here with Tamanon. We recently went to Collecticon LA, and we're just going to be talking about our experiences at the show. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm Tamanon. I mostly talk about card games and anime and that kind of overlap, especially the past couple years. We've gone to Collecticon together a couple times now since, 2022, 23?
Yeah, we've gone to a few. I think you've gone to a few more than me. I'm not a really big card person, so it's just not kind of like a con for me in general. I feel like, we'll talk about this more in a bit, but I feel like Collecticon, when I first started going, it was kind of a little bit more like a generalized convention almost. I mean, it's still always been
100%.
like cards, but like there was more things for me. And then I feel like this most recent one, it was just all cards. And it's
Yeah.
kind of, I feel like it's straying farther and further away from like a typical con and going more to like a card show.
That's something, I asked to talk to you about this because I had a lot of thoughts after the last Collecticon and not a lot of them nice. But, starting off, I've been to a lot of the Collecticons. I think one of my first videos was me going to the Gold Expo with you to turn into PSA and then go to Collecticon like the next week to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Had really good experiences with that, which I talked about in my video, and I think you did as well. But Collecticon used to be something completely different, I feel like, than what it was now.
Yeah,
There
definitely.
there was like Funko Pops, which, I don't care about that. There was a ton of Funko Pops when we started going, but like I remember going through the door and there were like 5 or 6 big stands for different card games coming out, not all of them decent. I remember the huge one from MetaZoo. There was like, people selling like, I feel like Gunpla and a lot of like signed stuff, like signed baseball cards. There was just like an overall collection almost. It was definitely geared towards cards.
It definitely felt like a collector's expo, and now it's definitely like a Pokemon expo.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that there was always Pokemon, but like this last time we went, and the last time that we went, which was just like around Thanksgiving or something.
I think
It was nothing.
I haven't gone in a while. I think the last one I went to was a couple years ago, probably with you.
No. You actually, Collecticon was the one in the LA Stadium just like a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah. No. So that's
yeah.
that brings up another point. Like, so I think there's been so many card shows just going on. Like Collecticon's been happening. I don't know if you've seen the website for Collecticon, but they're planning like 50 shows for next year. Like they are absolutely insane with how many shows they're putting on, and I think
Oh yeah, and they're all over the place too. You know,
but they're
the one in
doing
Ontario was
doing
yeah.
two LA shows like so close to, like, because I mean their last show was just like in August, and so going like August to December, I think next year they might be even doing like 3 shows in LA.
They had
I don't
another one in
know.
like July, like or something like that. Because I had just gone to the one in Ontario as well, and it was just kind of like I believe that was Collecticon. Maybe it was like Collectibles Con or something.
Yeah,
The
it's
name
they all
itself is
they all blend together. I'll be honest. I feel like we're in like kind of uh like a like peak amount of like card shows happening because there's so many new card shows that have been popping up here in LA that it's really hard to keep track of them. And
right. The Ontario one was the Burbank card show that got renamed to like SoCal Collectible Show or something like that this
yeah,
year because they
but
moved it.
there's so many new card shows. Like there's like Mr. X Collectibles in Burbank, and uh there's a whole bunch of new ones that have just been hopping up. All the Front Row Card Show happens like throughout LA as well, and the LA Card Show, LA Card Fest. You know, sometimes I'll just be going around like town, and I'll just somehow find a card show, and I'll just be like, "What? Where am I? What is this?"
And they say this is the thing that gets me about that, and this is kind of what's going to be the common theme here. I feel like is that they say it's about card shows, and the first one that I went to was definitely that. There was all kinds of card accessories, like
Mhm.
people doing interesting, 3D printed or hand built like stands and like things for your cards to be put on and displayed, like lighting and shelves, like different sleeves and different interesting ways to present your collection. And that's kind of where I spent all my money. Actually, I went a little crazy the first couple cons because it was like all these people with really interesting stuff like Phantom Display I discovered there, and some really cool like designs that I hadn't seen anywhere else.
Well, that's
But
what I mean.
now
Is I think they're having so many card shows that the only people who can keep up with the amount of shows they're doing are people who are selling just a ton of product. And maybe
well,
I don't
what's
know. I don't.
interesting is that the product that they're selling isn't really product. Like I went with my friend this past time who's just getting back into the Digimon card game,
Mhm.
and he just wanted some sleeves, some basic sleeves. Ultra Pro wasn't even there, which is they sell very
Yeah.
basic sleeves and deck boxes that work good. And I told him, I was like, no, there's definitely going to be sleeves and deck boxes you can buy here, and we can look through some stuff. There was not a single person selling anything except for like scalped One Piece prize sleeves. And it was just kind of insane. Like not even anyone selling Dragon Shield, which I know you're not super into the card game stuff, but Dragon Shield is like the basic, like everyone has them. They're good, but like everyone has them.
No,
And I'm
I
like,
agree with that. I think that's one thing. Because I was walking around a little bit, and because I don't really play Digimon, but I was looking for Digimon, and basically I was looking for anything that wasn't Pokemon when I was there, and I did find some
pretty
stuff.
much.
But like there just was not a lot of extra things because I like when we've gone in the past. There's been booths selling, like you said, protectors, card sleeves, all that jazz, and it's nice to like be able to pick some of those stuff. If you buy like a new box for something, it's nice to get like card sleeves to go along with it. And it's like if none of the booths are selling card sleeves, it just makes it like a pain to.
Or deck boxes, like anything. It was
Yeah.
it was just kind of wild. This like the last like 2 times I've gone to these kind of events, like there's pretty much nothing except for Pokemon slabs, and recently I've seen some One Piece slabs getting in, which I know that people were into One Piece are talking about how like the Pokemon scalp community and like the whatnot scammers are moving now into One Piece, I guess. I know they had with Gundam for a while, but like Gundam is even harder to kind of get a hold of in certain ways, which I don't know, the little bit of product that I saw that wasn't Pokemon, because I don't know a huge amount of Pokemon except for what comes across my feed anymore.
Yeah.
Is that I saw like a pack of Gundam cards that should be like max like $8. They're selling them for like $15, and I'm just like, who's gonna buy that? Like I I don't really understand a lot of the stuff. I think this is getting ahead, but it just kind of feels like scalpers selling to scalpers.
Well,
you know?
I will say like one thing is the show felt smaller. So previously I've gone to the shows that were in Long Beach, and I feel like the Long Beach Convention Center was just naturally larger. And now they're in the LA Convention Center. They moved from Long Beach to LA like a year ago, and they've had a few shows in the LA Convention Center that I haven't gone to, but they're in only one of the halls versus the whole convention center, and it's like not even a full hall, so it's kind of just like way smaller. And I don't know if that plays a part in anything, but it's such a weird experience because I just feel like the Long Beach shows were just so big and massive, and
I will say the Long Beach shows felt bigger, but I feel like that's because more was cramped in there. Because I will say my negative thought about the first couple cons at the Long Beach was that the lines for the signings, which I guess will go into this, is that they bring in voice actors and actresses who will sign items for you. And their lines get crazy, which is part of the reason people pay out the butt to go to them early, because you get early access if you pay out the butt and you can get in line to get things signed earlier. But like the lines in the Long Beach one would get so long, it would go into the floor where people were vending. So like you wouldn't know if people were looking at the booth or if they were in line or where there was a line at. And I actually gave up trying to get some stuff signed because I was like, there's no way I'm finding where this line even begins or ends.
well, that's one of the things that's way different is when we went to the Long Beach shows, we had a huge line to just get in the building, and
That's true.
it went all the way down. The Long Beach Convention Center has this like catwalk outside that goes to like the waterfront, and they had people line up on that, and it was just crazy long. And for the LA show, they had people line up outside the building. Like you could go inside, and then you could go back outside, and then you'd line up there. But then they also had another line outside of the main entrance which is weird because like, you know, we parked in the convention center parking lot, and so we were able to like sort of walk in and get to that first line versus having to be outside the building for that second line.
Long Beach security is way more organized than the security they have at the LA Convention Center.
Oh, definitely.
That's pretty much what that boils down to. The security at Long Beach, like they get you in and out pretty well. The convention center, they had no idea where they're directing people.
Yeah, but it was just crazy, like going into a line that wasn't even that long. Because the first line we got into, was not even that long. And then the line outside the actual building it wasn't even that long either. It just was like, why even bother splitting them up? That's the thing.
Our furry friend who wants to get into Digimon got stuck outside for a good 40 minutes longer than we did.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. But speaking about the convention size, with how I think it's smaller, I saw a TikTok from Jason Page buying a shadowless Charizard. He had a bunch of money and he was like bragging about how he was buying it. And he was buying it from like a kid who was like 15 years old, and the kid was just like not even reacting. And he's all hyped up about buying this this shadowless Charizard. And he's like, "There's over 900 vendors here." And I'm just like, I don't think there was 900 vendors at LA Collecticon.
You know what that's for? The big boy. The big boy, we picking up a big boy, oh yeah. You guys, if you don't know, that right there is the Shadowless First Edition Charizard, the holy grail of Pokemon, and only available through this incredible vendor here at Collecticon. You very rarely see this grail. Out of the 900 plus vendors that are here, and now we are the one that has it. Thank you, my friend.
It's hard to tell because it's like those booths, they were all selling exactly the same thing. And some of them were really close to each other. And this is the thing is that I play a lot of different card games. I've played or dabbled in every single card game that's come out since like 2005. I love card games. And I was just amazed that there was nothing besides Pokemon and, you know, the one or two One Piece slabs.
Mm-hmm.
Even if there were 900 vendors, they were all selling exactly the same thing. And I'm just, which would be fine if it was a Pokemon convention, right? If it was advertised as just, this is the Pokemon convention, or this is a Pokemon slab convention. Which I guess for people listening to this, a slab is people who pay money to get their cards verified as being real. Then they put them into a nice little plastic container that's like UV proof and kind of hard to tamper with, and they rate it on a scale from 1 to 10.
I think
They
you'd
do
be,
that
I
because it
think you'd
makes
be kind of
things.
like hard pressed to find a lot of people who wouldn't know what slab. I think most people know like what a slab is nowadays.
I thought so, but like it's actually kind of crazy. Like even when we're at the convention, I heard like one our friend who we were with,
Yeah.
their fiance was like didn't really know what they were, and I was explaining what PSA and Beckett and all that is. Like it is very big now,
Yeah, I
especially
mean,
you get the
you
crypto
can't.
bros and all.
When someone's fully employed, it's hard for them to understand things about like niche communities.
I mean, let me just look at my 60-hour schedule this week, but
I
well,
mean, even then, I'm sure there's plenty of things that happen in the community that you don't know about. I'm sure there's, I mean, there's so much
oh yeah,
drama.
there's a lot where you just kind of
But
close
like,
your eyes
if
because
it's
there's
not
too
your
much.
niche hobby to collect like cards religiously, then it's probably you're probably not gonna have time to figure it all out. But yeah, lots of Pokemon. I did my best to like walk around and film things that weren't Pokemon. So they did have the Hero Quest at the front, which was the Steve Aoki card game. They gave me a spiel about it, and they were like talking about their cards, and I was just gonna be honest, I didn't like the art. It looked
Well, okay,
like
the Stevie Aoki. As soon as I hear that, and I know that he's doing like what he got really into NFTs and whatnot, and this is where I think a lot of this my problem with the Collecticon and where these cons are headed is that everyone and their mom is making a card game, but they're not
mhm,
actually making games. They're making ways to launder money. It's ways that all they're
yeah.
doing is making essentially Bitcoin NFTs, but physical. So then they like can try to get extra money by starting their own grading service or having people scam people and whatnot or whatever. It's just like another layer of scam.
Well, so
Um,
they did have like a mascot out there from the card game, and they had a bunch of their uncut sheets of the cards showing them off, showing off the holograms. But the art, it looked like it looked like if you were watching like uh, Kids WB in like the early like 2000s, and it was like a show that was made in America but wanted so badly to be anime. But it was not anime. Like you
so
could tell. Like it looked like
I'm gonna
like some type of JetX American anime knockoff.
I'm gonna say some controversial, let's yet so brave things right now. A lot of this started during COVID because of MetaZoo really taking off and
Mm,
becoming the de facto like rug pull card game. Um, After they got a lot of money and people like flopping them back and forth, that's when you started seeing a lot of other card games try to doing the same thing.
mhm.
And there's still a lot of card games that are coming out that are trying to do that. And I use the word card game very loosely because a lot of these are practically not even games. I mean, I literally just saw one at the con that was like called like Bitcoin, the card game or something.
I missed
And
that one.
yeah, I feel like a lot of this is the same kind of people who were flipping like sneakers and stuff like 5 years ago, really trying to do the same thing in two
Hmm.
card games because there's money. And whenever there's money to be made, you get like scammers, you get scalpers, you get people that are like really trying to go in on it. Reason the art looks like that, like the kids WB, is the same reason that MetaZoo kind of look like, the old timey quote unquote Pokemon cards, which I disagree on that. I think they look pretty bad, but that was the intention, right? Because they want to play on people's nostalgia because you have a bunch of like 30 to 40-year-old, childless men who can't afford a house, so they spend all their money on nostalgia. But
Yeah.
the nostalgia is too expensive, like because the Charizard's $100,000 or whatever, and you can't afford your, house that would be that much. So then you go to the next best thing, which is this kind of looks like a Charizard, and I don't know if that works. I think a lot of times these are literally scammers selling to scammers selling to scammers kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like that's the intention. They want to play on that nostalgic aspect in order to get money out of us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I also think it's definitely like people trying to make their own card games. I know Steve Aoki's been kind of tied with Collecticon for a while. We haven't really encountered him here. But since Collecticon does a bunch of shows like throughout America, like they do so many shows, he's one of their normal guests on in like Atlanta for their Atlanta shows. Um,
See, that's something that weirds me out too. Is a lot of the people that they get as guests for this convention are not really
well,
how
he's
to put
been
it, like
doing it ever since we've started going. He's been doing it, so he's been at Collecticon as long as
I
we
mean,
have.
not
It's
even just
just
him. Like
not
they have like iced tea or something.
Vanilla
They
Ice.
have
So
vanilla
previously
ice.
when
Yeah.
we've gone, they had Vanilla Ice. I will say the Vanilla Ice was kind of fun to watch. And then the second time I went, they had Sugar Ray, but I didn't stick around for him. And then I didn't stick around for Steve Aoki either, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because he throws cakes at people in his audience, and if I got cake on me, I would have been furious.
I'm just like kind of confused about the musical choice and even the idea that they have a musical choice. Like it's like $40 to get in, which yeah, that's
Hmm.
really cheap if you like these musicians. But the thing that bugs me about the musical choice is that it doesn't really fit the theme that they're going for. Like, I understand having Jason Page there. He sung the Pokemon theme song and all that. Like, why not get a cover band that does all the nostalgic show openings if that's what you're going for? Like
That
somebody
would be
comes in and
nice. I
does.
would like that. Well, I think it's also I think Steve Aoki is just a bonus. So the thing with him is he does a lot of collaboration with like card companies. So he's really like deep into like the card sauce. So I think he's as much as we say he's like about the rug pull. I also think he is about cards, and so it is his pastime. I mean, he's a nepo baby. He's got the money to spend.
All I know is
He
that he was into the NFT thing, right? I just feel like this is
I don't know for sure. I'm gonna say he probably was. I think everyone who had like money or was like of any influence probably had some type of NFT thing going on during basically from 2020 to 2023. I think NFTs are
probably.
kind of fine. Like they're still around, but they're kind of falling off, and I think people kind of
Yeah,
realize that they were not the way.
I
Um,
genuinely like it's one of those things that I only care about for the fact that like I honestly am not one of those people who cares about like, oh, it's using up water or whatever. I'm just like it seems stupid, you know,
mhm.
um, which is funny
I
coming from somebody
personally
who spends
thought
thousands of dollars on
NFTs.
cardboard, but
I personally thought NFTs were going to be the future for art, and there's so many possibilities that NFTs could have unlocked for artists, and it just turned into shit because people who got the tech just started spamming them out and making garbage with them. And it could have been something really nice, like the whole idea behind an NFT is that you buy an NFT and then you've got like this permanent artwork that has benefits tied to it. Like if you bought like an NFT, maybe you get like 10% off this artist's work or commissions for like
yeah, the ideas behind it
for
were good. I
life.
think it's just like
And
it's a
then
kind
and
of
then that never came to fruition. Like it just became like, oh, I've got my golden monkey and my golden monkey's worth $10,000, and then like a week later it's worth a quarter.
but that's what I mean. It's like the same kind of people that like I how do I put this like to somebody who's not in the card game sphere? Like, there are different games that come out. You have the ones that have been around for a long time, right? Like
Hmm.
you have Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then like you have the ones that kind of have been trugging along for since like 2000 2000s 2010 like
Yeah.
Force of Will and Vanguard, and then you have new ones that pop up and they come and go every like 2 or 3 years, and a lot of times they're like tie-ins or people just trying, but a lot of times they are actual games. I feel like
Oh
a lot of
man,
the ones since
speaking of games
COVID.
that come and go, like that Wixos game. Oh man, that was around for
Yeah.
like just like 2 seconds.
And if you add this flag up there, you can go and watch my video about that. Thanks for the add-in, Aniki. So a lot of these games though are like clearly meant to be games. I feel like a lot of what's been coming out that are getting heavily promoted by this kind of sphere. I'm not gonna say people, but like the kind of sphere that promotes these things are kind of the same kind of people that I feel like with crypto. It's like
Hmm.
you have your Dogecoin, you have your like I don't know, it's like every 5 days there's like a new crypto that comes out, right?
Yeah,
And people are like hyping it
the
up.
get rich quick tech bro, crypto bro,
And like
internet
attitude.
troll, rug pull guy. I don't even know. It's such a weird archetype of person that does this kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's also like I kind of noticed it a little bit in the anime community when like you started seeing people with the decals and stuff for a while, and it's just like, it's like a different group of people who
Hmm.
aren't, your traditional nerds, which is fine. I like, people coming in and enjoying things, but it's when they enjoy them wrong for the wrong reasons that I get annoyed.
Yeah.
The it's the kind of like again, it goes. This is tying back to the music choices. It's like the kind of people that would want to come and watch like Baby Ice Sugar or whatever are not the kind of people that want to go and like listen to Jason Page's thing because of nostalgia, right?
What you telling me this? You know. the people who want to listen to Baby Ice or Ice Spice wanna watch a SpongeBob movie. That's what it is. I've cracked the code.
Oh yeah.
No,
but
I
you get what
agree.
I'm saying.
I do think Collecticon does offer a lot of like voice actors and like actor signings though, which is kind of unique for a convention. There's a lot of conventions where like there'll always be autographs, but I feel like Collecticon does a pretty good job of getting like the card people. So like a lot of times you'll see like a lot of like
Oh yeah, the
Pokemon
whole
voice
Yu-Gi-Oh
actors or
cast.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll have some decent ones. I will say when we were there, we ran into one of our old buddies, David, and he was there to get Darth Maul's signature. And as we were talking to him, he was like eyeballing Darth Maul's booth, and they were like tearing down his stuff because he was sick or he didn't make it, and he like had to run over and like confirm. And that's kind of a big one to not have at a show. And they didn't even make the announcement. Like he just didn't show.
I mean,
up
to
the
be
con.
fair, that kind of stuff happens pretty often with these kind of events. You always have to kind of keep in mind they might not come. I know we went with some friends who got like the Mario the Mario voice actor stuff signed, and like the one guy who voices all the Yu Yu Hakusho characters and Dragon Ball Z characters. And yeah, if you're going to these for signatures, even though it does kind of suck that you spend like $40 to get in on the minimum, I think it's even more now. It's like $45 plus you have to pay some processing fee since you can't pay online. So it's like $46 a ticket or something. And then, you go inside and it's like $50 a signing, which, isn't too bad. Putting a cap should stop people from
I think if you're trying to get like some of those hard to get signatures, it's worth it. But I feel like a lot of like the anime voice actors or like even the popular voice actors, because they had a few from the Amazing Digital Circus or whatever that were there, and they were clearly very popular. Their line was pretty long. They were right next to Santa, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, the line for Santa's so long." It wasn't Santa. It was the Amazing Digital Circus voice actor.
I'm kind of sad they did not say that there was a Santa coming. Otherwise, I would have brought some
Yeah,
stuff
they
to get
didn't.
pictures
I didn't.
of
I didn't get a
Santa.
picture with Santa either. I wish I had gone up and gotten a picture. It was like Santa, Eevee, and Pikachu. But like for the Amazing Digital Circus, like they do so many different events. I feel like you'd be better off just finding a free event they're going to and getting their paid signature at a free event versus having to pay an extra $40.
To be fair to that, it's like, and I do think this is one of the pluses of the Collecticon, because as you said earlier, it is all over the country, right? They're doing a ton of them, pretty much. Is that for most people who don't have the ability to travel, or like maybe you just only have weekends off or something, your options are limited. Like I've been trying to get the signature from the guy who voiced Hero in Gundam Wing for a while, but he's always on the East Coast, and I'm not going to fly to the East Coast. So if he shows up at Collecticon, I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And I will say that this year it looked like the lines for these signings were really well managed. They gave them
They
a
also
lot
they also
more
look
space.
smaller. I remember when we went in the Long Beach Convention Center, they were like they were so long, they were like sprawling out into like the vendor territory.
They definitely had a lot more. They had a lot more people.
And I don't know if it's because that was like so much earlier in the convention's lifespan that people were desperate to get those signatures, or if they were just higher demand, or like
It was
a lot,
right after COVID almost, so
Yeah.
it could also just be like people getting really hyped. It's like the first anime expo versus like after COVID versus now, where it's settled down.
There has been a big shift in like the convention base since like 2021. So I started vlogging in 2021, and I can tell you right now, the first few conventions, the first year coming out of like lockdown of conventions happening, there was so many people who were watching, and there was also so many people. Even though conventions keep saying that there's more people this year than last year, I feel like there was more people back then. Maybe they just like would come and just not like, they'd be in the line, see the line, and just like wait for 30 minutes and then leave or something. I don't know. It just
or just
felt like there
checking
was more
something
people
out
back
to
then.
do, right?
Yeah.
Going back to the voice actor thing, since
Yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned them, it's like one of the problems that we had early on with some friends who went for the voice acting. I mean, the first year where the lines were crazy. It was just that like people would come in with they didn't limit how many items you could get.
Yeah,
signed.
I don't think they
So-
do. I still don't think they do. I think a lot of conventions don't limit because they just care. Like at the end of the day, it's about how much money this guy, like this voice actor, is going to be able to make from that line. And if you're going to say no one, like people can't bring more
Well,
than
what
5
they'll do
items.
usually is like you can get up to like 3 signed, and then you can go back to the back of the line and go back through the line to get things signed, right? That way everyone gets something signed. Because like okay, our friend had gotten tickets for the early or whatever, and I think it was like they showed up at 9. I remember we were waiting in line at Long Beach at like 10 or whatever when they opened the door. By the time we get in, it's like already like 10:30 or something because the line is that long. They are at the end of the line for a voice signing still. I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And there's like only 10 people in front of them, but they have entire like
carts,
trolleys, full of like Funko Pops and like prints and like tons of rolled prints, and they just like slam a bunch of cash on the table, and the person just sits there signing like 400 items. I think they waited in that line with only 10 people in front of them, something like 5 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing I feel like used to be different before COVID as well, because it used to be if you like scalping is like really like blown up in like the last couple of years, where people will bring like a Funko Pop, get it signed, and then sell it for like 10 times the value, right? I feel like that wasn't as big before 2020, and
No,
even back then,
a lot of stuff's gone up.
but
Pokemon,
even back then, if you were to
doubled.
do that kind of thing, you would like let them know, and then they would just let you like do that after the signings. Like that used to be a thing. You could let them know in advance, hey, I'm bringing like 20 things to get signed, and then they would just like get you a special time to do that. And now it's just all like you have to do it in this line at this specific time with
I mean,
everyone
the
else.
scalping of the signatures has gotten so bad. You have people like who now there's that whole controversy at Anime Expo because they said no Funko Pops, and then somebody was like peeling off the plastic part of the Funko Pops, wrapping it around a board and getting it signed, and then putting it back onto the Funko Pop. Like this crazy stuff like that to get the signatures, to the point where some of the voice actors from Japan were like, we're never signing anything again at Anime Expo.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's just like they kind of ruin it for everyone.
There's so many different weird rules with like signatures too, like no Funko Pops. That's a weird one to me. Like I don't really think it matters what you get signed, to be honest.
Well, they started saying no Funko Pops because people were literally just like, a lot of times voice actors and stuff, especially from out of the country, they're not necessarily doing it to make money off the signatures, right? They're doing it as like a fan meet greet thing. It's just like a promotion. And you know there are a lot of people who will get items signed.
I don't know if that's true. I think a lot of the voice actors, so a lot of the guest of honors for sure, their signature at Anime Expo, their tickets, their signatures are free. But if they're not the free guest of honor, I feel like it just does not matter what they're signing, because I feel like a lot of the times those signings are sort of what they're using to pay for their like hotel or
if they're getting paid for the
accommodations.
signature. I mean, at least at Anime Expo, I've never paid for a signature. There are people that have like paid lines, where you have to pay. But I feel like that's mostly like the streamers and stuff.
Yeah. And
But
I do feel like with conventions, a lot of these voice actors, I was like not Anime Expo specifically, but for like Collecticon, if you're expected to travel with the show, you're probably expecting to make money off of like every single voice, like every single person who comes into your line, and the more the better, I assume, right? Like if you have downtime, and if you're a voice actor signing stuff at a convention, you have downtime, probably not the best thing. But
Well, I
also
feel like unfortunately some of them, like, and I've read some of the controversy about, for example, Jason Page. He's not a voice actor, but like, he sang the original Pokemon song, and apparently he signs like every Pokemon card and sells them on eBay himself and stuff like that. I haven't looked too much into it, but there's some controversy with voice actors doing that stuff because they know that their signature's worth money, so they try to like, sell it like that.
real
I
question,
understand.
the Shadowless Charizard he bought. Do you think he's gonna sign it?
If he can make more money off of it. I mean, look, man, I can't hate somebody who, like, if you have that one hit wonder and you got to ride it for the money, like, good for you. I do the same thing,
It's wild how far he's come. Like it's so interesting. But
what
yeah,
I wanted to
there's so many scalpers at like Collecticon in general, and like slabs, and it's all Pokemon.
Well, so that's why a lot of people like refuse to sign Funko Pops, though, is that they know that the people who are getting them signed don't actually care about them or their signature.
Yeah.
They just care about flipping it for money. And there's so much weird stuff where like people were getting things signed, but then it wasn't selling as much as they wanted. Like they get a Funko Pop and they try selling for $1,000, so then they would like sell it to their second eBay account higher. So then later at like one of these collecticons, they'd be like, no, look on eBay, it sold for $1,200. So me selling for 900 is a steal. And there was a
Yeah.
lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Funkos were an inflated market, and I still feel like they are kind of inflated. Maybe even cards are inflated to a certain point.
Oh, 100%.
It's interesting. Like I don't know. I
At
don't
the end
have
of the
any
day,
graded cards, and I don't know if I will ever have any graded cards because I just don't. I feel like you can buy your own like plastic guard things that are just it'll probably keep
so
your card just as safe as a PSA card. Or, like
so there's
protector.
two reasons to get things graded, right? The reason that I get things graded, because I have a couple, not a couple, I have a lot at this point, is that I like how they look. They look good on a shelf. They're authentic, and when I drop them because I'm clumsy, they're not going to get damaged. And it's just not, it looks nice. And there's a lot of cool accessories, and I'm all about the TCG accessories. The real reason that people started grading and the reason that grading even exists in the first place is to authenticate and make sure they're real, because there's a lot of fake cards out there. And then two, something that used to happen a lot and happens less now that there's grading companies is that say you go to a card convention in like 2013 or whatever, before, like, I remember before Magic grading got bigger, people would like whip out their you know microscope or jeweler's lens and start looking at the card and be like, oh, there's a niche, so like a tiny little like niche on it, so like and then this
It
one,
was
this
basically
little,
like a way to like guarantee the price and quality of a card.
yeah, people would argue over, oh, this is mint. No, this is near mint. No, and I worked at card shops where like people would like yell on the phone, and to the point where the card shop would scan the back and front of the cards before shipping them out if they were like over $20, just so they can be like, no, you damaged it or whatever. And like people would go crazy over like, and sometimes the difference between like cost and near mint and mint would be like nothing. It'd be like 0.5 cents, but people would still want that back. Like it was really obscene. So card grading was a way to be like, no, that's a PSA 10, not a 9, so it's worth this much. If you don't like it, then argue with PSA, right? That's kind of where it came from. So I understand why people with high valued old collectibles would want that, because now you're not arguing over, oh, well, this looks like that. It's like, no, PSA said it was this, right?
Yeah.
So it's like for buying things online, that's very useful too. You don't have to worry about the quality or whatever, and you can check the cert, because there's a cert number on each one, so you can see like if this is a real card or not. Because if the cert is fake, then it's not a real card. It is nice for that reason, and I understand that. And I don't actually have a problem with grading, or even like the Pokemon grading at all. Like I understand wanting your collectibles and stuff. I mean, I have so many, this, but like
Yeah.
it's more like the attitude and how it's kind of evolved into this monster where it feels like the people who actually care about the product can't obtain, or realistically are just getting stuck out of it. Because there's entire, like, they used to do this at card shops I worked at that I will not mention anymore because they're kind of big now, but like all these card companies, and I say companies loosely, but like groups of people selling cards online and whatnot, groups and people who have like these brick and mortar stores that aren't even really brick and mortar. They're just kind of like ways to store their cards while they sell online and whatnot. A lot of them will do things like buyouts, where they'll buy out an entire stock of one card and then raise the price. And what they'll
Yeah.
do is they'll like
Well, individuals are starting to do that now too. Like that's like there's
well,
the whole there's
individuals
like that
always
whole
have, yeah.
did you see that like King Kabuto thing that happened recently?
Oh yeah, the one guy's buying like a million of them or something.
Yeah.
People have been doing that for forever with their favorite ones, and some people have been doing it for forever, like at a company standpoint, to like raise the cost of like cards that they think are going to do better in a event or something like that. And I remember in Magic there was like Star City Games and some of these people, which I don't even know if they're around anymore, but I don't care about Magic anymore, so it doesn't matter. They would do things like put out articles about like, this is the best deck ever and everyone's going to run this at the next event, and they would raise the cost of those cards, and then they would bring a deck that they had designed to beat that deck. You know what I mean? Like there is all kinds of scummy stuff that goes on in the TCG community, and always has, because whenever there's money and competition involved, there will be. I guess it's what's wild to me with the current thing, at Collecticon, with everyone just selling these slabs, like that's all they were selling was the Pokemon slabs. Is like, who are they selling to, and how are they making the money? Like
Yeah,
I
that's
see.
something that really confuses me. So this is like a big difference with like conventions in general, is especially at Collecticon. I feel like everyone was like streaming and filming and making content. I feel like what they're doing is they're just trading cards worth of like similar value to each other and just filming the process, acting like maybe someone will get a slightly better deal, or maybe they don't even film the full deal. They'll just act like they get like an amazing deal on a Charizard or something like that. And
Yeah, it just seems promotional, right?
yeah, like Jason Page made that video where he's like he's paying, he's literally like has like a couple $1,000s on like the table that he's given this 15-year-old kid for a shadowless Charizard, and it's just like, but he's making content out of it, right?
The big boy, we picking up a big boy. Oh yeah. You guys, if you don't know, that right there is the Shadowless First Edition Charizard.
So the card's probably worth that much money, and the guy's making that, and the kid's making that much money. But then he can just go turn around and sell that card to someone else, and
He
he'll
has the
have a
content
video,
money.
and he gets the money off of like YouTube. And I feel like that's what a
Or
lot
he
of
could
these
sell it to
creators are doing.
somebody. He could sell to somebody big, like hell. He could have sold it to Stevie Aoki and been like, film that, and then he could put another video out that goes like,
Yeah.
I sold a $10,000 Pokemon card to
Exactly.
DJ, or
And this is the thing I feel, and I also feel like a lot of people, like, they leave these binders out filled with their cards with their singles, and they have a camera pointing at them, and they're like, "You're on camera," and it's like they almost hope that they get stolen from at this point, because they want to they want to get that video of like, someone stole $20 worth of cards from me at my booth, and then they make it into a reel, and then it goes viral, because that's the kind of content I've been seeing.
oh,
That goes
definitely.
Viral.
Or like you have the whole trade up thing where I don't know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of these
I've been
things
seeing
that
some negative
seem-
things with the trade ups, though. I feel like no one's really, like, people are against the trade ups nowadays.
Well,
I've been
because
seeing
again,
a
they
lot
started as something. Trade ups were going on since I was like a child. Like the
Yeah.
very first card game thing that I ever did was my grandfather helped me pay for a spot in a small swap meet. I had a bunch of Pokemon cards. I had my Pojo magazine that told me the cost of them. Really dating myself here, and we sold cards and whatnot. And there was a trade up thing where it was literally something that vendors would do together, where it'd be like, oh, I like this, I like Togepi and you like Butterfree.
Well,
or let's trade
I've
here.
seen it.
And
I've
then,
seen it be a thing
you know,
now where vendors, if they see like a kid and the kid has like a vendor badge on, they'll just be like, "No, you can't do the trade up challenge because you're a vendor." And
Well, yeah,
it's
because the vendors are using their kids. They're being scummy. They're teaching their kids to scam and cheat.
yeah, and
Because it's not that the kids actually want that card; it's that they want their dad to make a bunch of money.
But again, this is all just content. It's just people were filming and streaming, and like that
Yeah.
was it. And that was like everything at this. It was so weird to go through like every table looking almost exactly the same. To
And
the
they
point
all
where
had
it's
the
like
cameras.
they all
had
have like those
cameras.
360-degree cameras just on a tripod there watching, or like a live. And then sometimes they'd have the monitor up and you could see like the live feed, or
And to be fair, a lot of that, kind of makes sense with how much stuff takes place, right? You
Yeah.
have a lot of easily pocketable,
Merchandise.
hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of dollars merchandise. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel like that's actually the reason a lot of them do it. Like you said, it makes a lot of sense that most of their money might actually be coming from these like clickbait, YouTube shorts and TikTok
definitely.
videos and that kind of thing. And a lot of them are the Whatnot people, and I don't know how much you're aware of like the Whatnot's pack openings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whatnot's basically Twitch meets eBay, and everything I've ever heard about is awful. I've never actually used it, because every time I see anything about it, it just seems like the worst of every single possible social media mixed with the worst of eBay. Just people, and I also don't understand paying somebody to open up a pack for me when I could just smell it and open it myself. But
Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of like I feel like paying someone to open a pack for you is like, it's like, okay, I want to buy packs, but I already have all these cards, and I'm just looking for like a hit of like this one type of card, right? But I can't get any more of the packs in my area because they're all sold out. But this guy on Whatnot has 100 of these packs, and he's willing to open these packs for people who buy them on his Whatnot stream, right?
that's a good point.
And so
Yeah.
then you like, it's like, okay, I don't really care about the money. I'm just trying to get that one hit, and then I'll have him ship me that one card that I paid for, right? And then he's gonna open them, but then that becomes a controversy where the guys are like opening the card packs, and then they see like the holographic border, and then they're like, "Oh, hold on, I got someone at my door," and then they like swap the card out and come back, and it's like something completely different.
Yeah, that kind
That's
of stuff happens a lot.
yeah.
Or people can weigh packs.
Exactly.
Certain sets you can't do it on all sets anymore. But like certain sets you can like weigh them. You could get a case, like a master case, depending on the game, and like get the uber rare out of the case already, and now you know that you're selling pretty much like bunk boxes to people. But again, this is stuff that's always happened, but now there's like an extra step of going on. um, but I wonder, like, we were walking around, and I'm just watching these people, and no one's really haggling. They'll pull up a card, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want that." Okay, well, it says it's this much. Well, last sold on eBay was this much, and then like, it's like if you're just going off last sold on eBay, why not just buy on eBay? Number one, not spend
Yeah.
$40 to come into this place. But like, two, it's like everyone has the same crap, and it's
Yeah.
like, and I feel like a lot of the vendors were selling and buying to other vendors, and I'm just trying to do the math in my head. I'm like, okay, you spend this is going to be a very dumb example, but you spend $10 for the booth, you make $20 in sales, but then you spent $40 on your own stuff. I was just like, where's the actual money coming from? Because I have to
Again,
assume that a lot of it.
it's the content. It has to be the content or the fact that I think the idea that they like a lot of these businesses are also cash based, right? So like they'll take
Yeah, money
card
laundering.
and you can do it via card, but they will 100% prefer to pay that you pay with cash because that way they can just like say it never happened, right? But when you pay with a card, they have to go through taxes and all that jazz because it's going to go through Square.
Oh,
or whatever.
a lot of these people are doing money laundering. A lot. What's crazy to me is that like I only saw like 2 booths even selling Magic. I saw like 1 or 2 selling Yu-Gi-Oh, and there's some people selling like the Chinese knockoff like Yu-Gi-Oh shirts and stuff. But it's just like, this is what I mean. If it was like even split like 2/3 Pokemon and like 1/3 Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, whatever, I'd be like, okay, this sucks, but I kind of understand. But it was like 99.99% Pokemon. I was like looking for a needle in the haystack, not to see anything that wasn't just sealed Pokemon or Pokemon slabs.
And so as we've been talking about this, I will say we've been the video that's been playing over this is probably going to be a lot of the packs that we opened when we were there because we did find a lot of stuff that wasn't Pokemon, but we really really had to hunt for it. So we found Life TCG, which was like a card game based on actual animals and the rarities based on how rare I'm sure I have that part in the video. But then I also found
MetaZoo's relaunching too.
MetaZoo relaunched, so I'll have the MetaZoo opening there. So MetaZoo's back. I'm happy MetaZoo's back because they kind of have like a fun.
It's completely different gameplay. I don't understand.
Even if you don't like MetaZoo, I always liked MetaZoo's presence at conventions because they always were very fun, and I feel like that's something that I feel like is missed. Like when I go to Collecticon, Pokemon will never be at Collecticon, but MetaZoo will be at Collecticon, and they're going to bring their inflatables. They're going to go up on stage. They were throwing packs out to the audience. They were having a good time. They were making it fun for people. Whereas, like, Pokemon will never, ever do that because Pokemon, people will, like, beat the crap out of you for Pokemon if they started throwing packs off the stage. I also opened Nibble Arena, which is a Nikke card game, and the booth that was selling that had a bunch of like Korean stuff in general. They had a K-pop card game that's brand new, and I don't know if it'll sell at Collecticon, but like I told them, you need to go to Anime Impulse, and it'll probably sell out because there's K-pop fans there, right? It's K-pop stands.
Yeah, the whole K-pop convention side.
But I really like Nibble Arena. It looks amazing. We also did find some other smaller packs. So my friend who was looking for Digimon, we did find a store tournament pack, and he opened that, and we filmed that. And then we also opened up a Dragon Ball Z tournament thing, and those were actually decently priced. Those were like $5 for those store store packs or whatever you call them for the tournaments. And it was like nine entry cards, and then a winner card, and then a judge card. And the judge card was always going to be holographic. The winner is going to have a winner tag on it, and there's at least maybe 1 or 2 holographics in the actual pack out of the random entries as well.
I'm realizing that I actually have video on my phone of the MetaZoo packs.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
will say,
Metazu coming back is new art, right? Like it doesn't look bad. It's very. It looks like
I
now
know
they're definitely gonna be like more for kids. Like it was always for kids, but like it's definitely feels like it's like maybe they have better intentions this time around.
it kind of went up from rip off Pokemon to rip off Neopets. I don't know, man.
Yeah, which Neopets is back too. Neopets is making a resurgence,
The
which is kind
Neopets
of
card
crazy.
game is actually pretty fun. You use a lot of dice. But I will say, we talked a lot of bad stuff about Collecticon. One of the nice things is that the customer service was really great.
Yeah.
It is annoying to buy their tickets online,
Hmm.
but I bought them for this event that happened in December, and I clicked on the December link, all that. Didn't realize it until I got to the event, but they had emailed me and said it was for August, which is weird because I got the tickets on December 18th. So I'm like, why would I get tickets for last August? I explained it to the people, and they like immediately just gave me the wristband. Like
Well.
it
So
was
when
simple.
we were there, the person because we waited in line, and when you were in line, the woman who was handing out the wristbands was like, "You have to go to customer service." And then I immediately just went up to the guy who was like shouting at people, like, "If you need help, go over there." I just immediately went up to him, and it's like, "My friends bought tickets for the event for blah blah blah," and he just immediately like fast tracked you to like get everything
Oh yeah,
sorted out.
that was great. Like
Yeah.
I don't think the people putting it on have any ill intentions. Just like some of the I do wish that they would just, maybe look at some of the people who are applying and be like, maybe we don't need another Pokemon reseller. Maybe we can have Ultra Pro come in. Or, maybe we don't need another Pokemon reseller. Maybe we can have,
I think it's just at that point. I think it's just how many Collecticons does Ultra Pro want to go to, right? Like does Ultra Pro like does like because I
yeah,
guarantee you
but I
that
mean,
same I
I guess
guarantee
that
you that
they're
same weekend there's probably going to be card shows in Atlanta and Florida and Texas. There's probably card shows all across America, and it's like how many places can Ultra Pro send people out to at
a lot,
once?
a lot.
And like, are they going to want to send it to Collecticon every like 3 times a year when they could go to different shows and reach different demographics across the country? And that's a big thing with a lot of like not just card shows for like anime conventions as well. And that's why like a lot of these vendors, a lot of these like storefront type companies. For me specifically, I do a lot of content for this gotcha game called Nikke. They started going to New York. They started going to Texas. They're trying to hit other conventions because so many people are not in LA, and they're like, hey, when are you gonna make it down to over here, or are you gonna make it over here? And it's because the fans for that are there. It's just they can't make it to LA or they can't make it to New York, and so they really really want. So it's
I
like
mean,
you just.
I understand that. I guess what I'm saying is I feel like Collecticon is really
Mhm.
shoehorning themselves into just being the Pokemon Slab convention.
Yeah. No,
Which
I
is
agree.
fine if it wasn't like kind of false advertising. Like our
Yeah.
friend who came with us, for the first time with his fiance or whatever. Like, I thought it was going to be like the prior cons where there's going to be at least card
Mhm.
sleeves. There's going to be something interesting,
Well,
and there just
agreed. This
wasn't.
was my first time back in like a couple years, and it was all Pokemon. Last time I was there, the first 2 times I went to Collecticon, which this is my third Collecticon, they had like animation frames, they had
Oh yeah, yeah. I
they
remember
had a
that
lot, they
that
had a lot
booth,
more different types of mini indie games as well that were like coming up.
the 420 dude
Yeah,
weed
which
card
which they're still around. I don't know why they weren't at Collecticon. They go to like a bunch of different card shows, and I just don't know why they weren't at Collecticon. Maybe they just don't do well at Collecticon.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Collecticon
Is like
anymore.
maybe and I'm sure it could just be that these people who used to be there weren't making enough money to justify it. Because it's just like at that point, just change your name. Like how do I put this? Collecticon should not be called Collecticon. It should be called like Pokemon Scalp Con or something. Whatnot Con. It has nothing to do with collectibles anymore. It's literally just like flipping Pokemon slabs.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just amazing to me that like just to go to show that it's just a slab. I saw like two booths selling Phantom displays and maybe like three that were selling card guards. So for those who don't know, like you have your card and then you get it graded in more plastic and then you can make it look even nicer by putting it in more plastic. Um, and it is kind of like a big like subset of the grading community. God, I hate saying that word. but it there's only a couple booths that were even selling that. So I'm like, okay, so these people buy their slabs. They're not even getting things to look nice for them. They just like immediately bring them back to the booth to sell themselves or like something. There's no
Yeah.
accessories for them. Like I found more card game accessories at Anime Expo than I did Collecticon, you know? And Anime Expo, like, yeah, it has a lot of different booths and a lot of different stuff, but like it's not just a collectible, place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and it was just kind of weird. Like literally, I think the only card sleeves I saw the entire place were a couple of overpriced like Pokemon and One Piece card sleeves from Japan. Like at
Definitely.
Anime Expo, there's somebody who's selling nothing but like 1,000. Like there's that one booth that always has like 1,000 different card sleeves, right?
Hmm.
Like anime card sleeves and stuff. It's just weird. Like, why is there no one selling like Japanese Pokemon card sleeves? Right. It's because the people who are going there aren't getting cards to play with. They're getting them to flip. Because if you want
Yeah.
getting cards to play with, you'd be looking for special sleeves to put them in. You've been looking for
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
guard cards for the sleeves.
Well, on that note as well, there was no place to like sit down and play card games at the event. Like there was no tables.
That's a great point.
There's also
Yeah.
no tournaments. There was no one playing card games at the event. It was all just people buying and selling. And I'm sure there may have been
Which is
people who
fine.
left the hall to go maybe sit out in the hallway and play some card games because there was a lot of people sitting around and eating food outside of the main convention hall.
There
And
weren't even any like places to like I thought for sure we'd see like somewhere set up for people to, film themselves opening up the box they bought or something, but there wasn't even anything like that. Like I
no.
saw there were sealed boxes, but I felt like, each booth maybe had like three sealed boxes or something, and that was pretty much it.
Which I
I'm
think is
sure
weird that like they don't have a spot like that, considering every vendor there is basically there to make content. It's like they almost expect you to like
do it
either buy
yourself.
it and take it home and open it, or like because I would rather open it at the convention because I feel like that's going to give me better atmosphere. Probably the audio is not going to be the best, but it's just weird that like why does Anime Expo have more space for people to play card games, open card games, film card games than Collecticon, which is made for card games?
Yeah, it's and I will say like I don't was Collecticon actually made for card games? Like or was it just collectibles in general?
It was collectibles in general, but now it's clearly card games, right? Like that's all they
Yeah,
had
it's
there was
pretty much.
card games. There was no one selling board games. There was no one selling
You know what would have
like
been cool? We went to that one con. What was the name of it? The it was a really nice little con. The ToonCon. We went to ToonCon,
mhm.
and there was like three booths in that tiny little convention hall that were selling like 80s collectible merch of like Street Sharks and Ninja Turtles and stuff.
Mhm.
Why is there nothing like that at Collecticon? Like it's just kind of
There were a few people who were doing stuff like that. There were every now and then we did come across the odd booth that was selling art and like random stuff, but it didn't have anything to do with like the show. Like we came across that guy who was like he was a tattoo artist and he was like selling he wasn't really selling anything. He was just
he
sort
was
of
just
marketing.
promoting himself.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
again, none of his tattoos had anything to do with Pokemon or anything, and it was just like kind of, which I kind of, I think it shows. Like, right, if you were if you were a Pokemon tattoo artist, you probably would have had a line around the corner. But since you know what I mean, like it's just not. It's not in line with
Yeah,
what the
it's
audience of the show wants, and then even some of the art vendors who were there were just selling like cutesy stickers, sort of like
yeah,
random like kittens and stuff, and it's just
yeah,
like why
nothing
are
to do with
you
collectibles.
like I don't
Yeah.
even understand. That's the kind of person who goes to that convention. I don't understand how they're making money. Like if they like imagine like you have like a bunch of like cutesy anime cat things, and like you go to a show like Collecticon. There's no way. Like I guess maybe if like all the vendors who like all the people who come and they bring like their girlfriend or sister or daughter, and they want to get something, and then like that's the only booth that sells cute stuff. That might be something they buy them, but like that doesn't. It just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense to me.
Miyamoto
Like
always likes them, but that's pretty like if you're not bringing Miyamoto or somebody, it's like what is this for?
yeah.
Anyway, it's it's a little strange. The convention just feels strange and off, and I don't know, like the
I feel like it's
it
lost its
feels
way.
it feels yeah, it doesn't feel like it's collectibles anymore. Like I've repeated this ad nauseum now, but it doesn't feel like it's made for collectibles in general. It felt very much
No,
just
definitely not.
graded cards. Like there was like five different booths. Like what is weird, I thought, is that like PSA and Beckett and stuff weren't actually there. Like they were at the Burbank card show, like
They
so
were
you
there.
could drop off. but they had like 5 or 6 quote unquote like PSA Beckett dealers, which are like
Yeah.
the official people where you can drop them off and then they like do all that for you, which PSA and Beckett and all these places make it so easy now. I don't really understand how those services stay in business. Like it's very maybe like the only reason I think they are is like if you are a store who's opening up and selling and flipping a million, cards every day, then yeah, you want some third party person to do that for you. Which I guess now that I'm saying it out loud makes a lot of sense that there's the dealers there, not the official ones, because if you have to turn in your own stuff to the official one, then you don't have that third party that you can like sue if they ruin it or whatever. So you have like another layer of insurance.
Oh, that makes a lot
which
of
is a
sense.
weird
That
concept.
makes a lot of sense. Because the people have been having a lot of issues with like PSA and all these companies damaging cards. So having
Yeah, and
a
also
third
just
party
like
that can actually be a fall
it's kind of a
guy
pain
is-
to fill out all your own stuff. I'm not gonna lie, like yeah, it takes a long time if you're doing like 20, 30, 100 cards. So giving it to a stack of cards to a dealer and being like, hey, you do all this for me. And a lot of them like offer cleaning services and stuff too, so that kind of makes sense. But I guess from the aspect of it being Collecticon, the dealer, like the official sponsored dealers or whatever you want to call it for PSA and Beckett and all that being there, but not actually Beckett and PSA, makes a lot of weird sense
Mhm.
because it's not collectors who are going anymore. It's these businesses that are LARPing as collectors.
Exactly. Definitely, it's kind of like a shadow of its former self in that sense. Like,
I do wonder when people have talked a lot about the TCG burst and all that, and I do wonder when the bubble's gonna burst. Um, it's I don't know.
I don't think it'll
That's
burst anytime soon. I think people are innately drawn to shiny cardboard for some reason. Just like people were attracted to shiny coins for a long time, and that's why you see like a lot of coin conventions. And there's still a lot of coin conventions, although they're on the way out. And now that coins of like the coins still have value, but like they're kind of losing their relevancy, right? And so I feel like a lot of the people who are in the coin collecting community are a lot older, and I feel like the cards
we
are just
noticed that
basically
coin
like the
in-
younger version of that.
Well, the difference is that like coins have, especially if they have metal in them, have intrinsic value versus pieces of cardboard that don't.
I feel like
it only
I feel
has
like
value as
in
nostalgia.
I feel like in maybe like 20, 30, maybe even 40 years, we're going to see like, you know how like there's like in Yu-Gi-Oh, the grandpa has like the card shop and he's got like all these rare cards and like Yugi's like my grandfather's deck. That's Yugi's going to exist in like 20, 30 years. And it's just going to be a bunch of old guys who have card shops and like kids are going to run around with like these like vintage decks and it's just like I've got this 2009 fucking Pikachu deck and it's
There's a lot to be said about kids not really playing cards anymore. It's
Yeah.
become somebody who like you can't play unless you have money.
Well, that's
They-
it. Like, do you think Yugi would have given any shits about the card games he played if his grandfather didn't own a card shop? Probably
Well, I mean,
not.
he's the reincarnation of the pharaoh, so
I mean, he would, yeah, but he probably would have continued playing random one-off games where he does like I mean that season
That's
one
true,
that never
yeah.
he would have just continued playing Russian roulette instead of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hey, that was a great chapter though.
But yeah. Do you have any final thoughts on all this? Like as we wrap up here.
Everything sucks, and we're all gonna die.
Exactly.
No, final thoughts, honestly, is the collectible market, and even the idea that I'm saying the words collectible market because I don't feel like I don't feel like a lot of this was seen by outside people until after COVID. I feel like before COVID, it was a nerd community kind of run by nerds who, yeah, there was value in things, but like a lot of the value had to come down to playability or, people really valued a card that they really enjoyed playing and then they, wanted to slab it as like, oh, this is that or whatever. And I mean, Pokemon is its own monster because it's got like 4 generations of people now that are obsessed with it. It just feels like the entire thing is now designed to take as much money from people as possible instead of just being a thing for collectors to get the thing they want to collect and enjoy it. Like, it doesn't feel like it's done out of fun or love for any particular game. It feels like it's almost like a rat race where people again see like somebody has the Shadowless Charizard and they're just like, oh, I definitely need that. You know what I mean? And it's and your idea of the uh social media aspect and how they make a ton of money off of these clickbait videos on, oh, my card was almost stolen, or I sold X card to X person for X amount. That is probably how they're making most of their money now, which is kind of crazy to think about.
That's what I think. I think they're basically just exchange. They go to these events and they maybe sell enough product at the event to cover their table. So maybe they have to make like a $200 from people coming to the convention, and then all the actual profit that they're making from that convention are off of like the social media aspect of that, of like all the videos. It's like, oh, I sold this many packs today, or I sold this pack to this person, or I saw blah blah blah, and we did this crazy deal, or someone stole these cards from me, or someone got caught stealing, or or even the live streams. People live stream it, right? They're as they live stream, they're talking to their audiences. Maybe they're getting donations, maybe they're getting live subscribers. It's interesting. Like this is the one thing I will say about social media is everything I've ever done in life, like career wise, social media is like the opposite. Like I spent a long time as an animator, right? And, focusing on being like an artist and like trying to do all this stuff, but it doesn't really build up to anything. Like there's no, like, it's all like a social, it's like, it's nonsense. But with social media, it's like, I've hit 1,000 subscribers. I've hit 2,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers.
It's like a game that you're playing.
It's gamified, but there's always like a level, and you can't you never go back down, right? So it's like I could make a new channel, and then like I could just tell people I made a new channel, and then even then I would have a bigger step up than someone who's started it's never.
There's some
going
kind
back
of
to
like
zero.
long-term infinite growth kind of thing idea.
Exactly.
And it is really weird. Like I started making content like 2 years ago, like a year after you, and I think part of the idea was like, Aniki's doing this. This is kind of fun. I enjoy filming and editing his videos. Like I'll try it myself, and it actually is pretty fulfilling, like editing something and then seeing people enjoy watching it. And like it is pretty wild sometimes where it used to be like, oh, I got 50 views, that's a lot, and then you get one of my videos just got like 13,000 views in like a week, and it was not the video I wanted to get 13,000 views in a week. And it's like, don't know how that happened, but like that's crazy. That's wild. And now it's like the next step is like, okay, so now you want every video to do that good, right? And I guess definitely feel like that's kind of the rat race thing that people put into, especially if you have a business, and the business aspect, if you're trying to make money, you're like, I'm just doing it for fun, so it's not as important if any of my stuff gets gets too much traction. Now, you talk to somebody like yourself who your end goal, sponsorships and like getting a lot of
going back to like these card communities though. Like I feel like they're specifically inflating values of things to have these clickbait titles, so that way they can be like, oh my god, someone
100%.
stole $100 card from my binder. And it's just like, yeah, sure, you could market the card as $100, but realistically someone's probably only going to pay like 60 for it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even Logan Paul's like thing about like he bought, what was it, like $2.5 million or something, and like apparently that was overvalued, and it's just like it makes a good thumbnail, right?
Exactly.
Like anyway, that's pretty much my final thoughts.
Where can the people find you?
Right, yeah, so I'm on YouTube as Tamanon, and I'm also on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to call it, but I just repost anime stuff there. On YouTube I talk about mostly anime now, like anime seasonal reviews, as well as like card games that are related to anime. I have quite a few videos on that, and like kind of going over like when new games come out. Look me up if you like my stuff. Give me a thumbs up, appreciate it. If you don't, leave the thumbs down and tell me I stink, because I'll appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for coming on. Everyone, make sure to go follow Tam on his channel. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, I'll see you next week, man. Bye.
Okay, bye.